Hey everyone, hope everyone's doing well and welcome back to another video. So I am currently attempting to use Audacity now to hopefully make the audio of my voice talking sound a little bit better, take out a little bit of the background noise, but we'll see how I'm able to work with the settings. I do have an idea that I have 10 minutes and 27 seconds to talk, so I'm checking the timer down there, so we'll see how much over I do go if I do tend to go over. But this video is going to have 3 different parts, and you notice that it is a longer video. It's 3 days of training. It's day 4, day 5, and day 6 of week 3. Some of the sessions were a little bit shorter, and I figured I would try this little bit of a different approach to combine a couple sessions. So you can let me know if this is more preferable to have one longer video instead of shorter ones more frequently. Obviously, if I combine workouts, the frequency from which I upload will be decreased, but the length of the video will be a bit longer. I'll still have the training clips that you would have seen from the first exercise, but the first workout that was here on day 4 was out in the shed, and that workout included, let me get to it on my phone, included some front squats, which got up to a PR double, I believe it's a PR double of 180 kilos, then had some push press, and then the rest I didn't record because it was just some curls, some face pulls, and some glute ham raise. Day 5 was when things started to kind of go downhill. So day 4, really good. Obviously 180 PR double, probably PR double I should say. Not 100% sure. I don't generally keep track of repetition PRs too closely compared to just absolute maxes or just what I've recently hit for singles. But 180 for a double is really good, especially considering how the previous workouts of the week had been going as well with squatting. But I think because of that, because I've been pushing and been aggressive with squats, my legs just came up on day 5 pretty fried. I was able to get up to 110 and do that for a triple, but I tried to get up to 115 and I didn't even get it for one, so I was pretty gassed by that point. Workout wanted me to do a drop set at 110, but once I missed 115, based on previous workouts and just my training history, once I start missing weights at heavier weights, and it's not like a technical, but it's more of like I'm gassed, then it's better for me just to stop and to just quit training for that exercise. But this is where things started to get really bad. So snatches, whatever, they went pretty well, but for power clean and jerk 1+3, I was supposed to get up to 125. I don't want to say that I couldn't power clean it, but I didn't have the gumption to do it. I didn't have the commitment to do it, and I just missed the first power clean. It was a technical miss, but I didn't have any desire to just catch it at all. And then wanted me to drop down to 120. Same thing. I think I clarked it. I didn't even try to catch it at all. Then it had me drop down again to 105, and I was able to do those 2 sets at 105, the 1+3 just fine. Then the rest of the workout were just some accessory work. Sorry, that's Bo over there in the background. So this is when my legs started to get fried. But day 6 is, looking back and in hindsight, wasn't as bad as I thought. So something that the program did by itself, I didn't realize until after I finished day 6, because I was getting really annoyed during the workout because I hate not being successful. Sorry, Bo is seeing someone outside, and they have the audacity to walk on the sidewalk or to do literally anything in front of the house, so he's going to be barking his brains out for as long as they're outside. But the workout started with some snatch push press on day 6 and some overhead squats. I decided to do some no hook, no contact muscle snatches just because it was only 80 kilos, and it pushed me up to 84 kilos, which that was pretty easy as well for the muscle snatch part of it. And obviously the overhead squats and all that were pretty easy. Those have been going well. It had more power clean and jerks like yesterday. I believe it was 108, but I just went to 110, and those all were super easy. It was only the 2 sets there. But then it had front squats, and just looking at this workout, I realized that I probably wasn't going to be able to do the sets. It started at 162 kilos, and it wanted me to do sets of 4 starting at 162 kilos. After the first set, obviously I did 1 rep and didn't have any more in the tank. If you see it on the video eventually, I don't know if my face shows it or if my face shows on the video, but I was very annoyed because it was so far off from what I was going to be able to do for a set of 4. And so then I put the 0 RIR because I did 1 rep, but I didn't have any more. Dropped down to 154, same thing, and I was getting progressively more annoyed because I'm like, I'm gassed, like clearly. Dropped down to 145, same thing. I probably could have done more than a rep at 145, but I was already just tilted at the weight selection. And then dropped me down to 137, which I did the set of 4 there. And I had, it was still pretty difficult. Had some snatch pulls at the end. But once I had completed this workout, I realized I had planks at the end. When it populated week 4, it started out with absurd weights. So I didn't realize this, but the program will just arbitrarily increase your maxes if it thinks that your max is higher. And so it increased my front squat max from, it was either 191 or 192 kilos to 207 kilos. So a 15 to 16 kilo jump from what my current 1 rep max is, which is just a complete inaccuracy and something that I'm nowhere near being able to actually front squat. I don't know why it thought that, but on the first day of week 4, day 1, so I don't think I'll be sharing a screenshot of this, but I'll just kind of tell you what changed. It started out on day 1 with the normal snatch workout, normal clean, jerk dip, whatever, but the front squat, it had 2 sets of 3 at 187 kilos, which is like 98%, or like an extremely high percentage, when I had just PR'd my double, as I mentioned earlier in the video, at 180 kilos. So doing 187 for a set of 3 would be rather absurd, and would be accurate if my front squat was actually 207 kilos, but not if it's 191 or 2 kilos. That would be absurd if I was able to do even just one, or do a double with either one of the sets. So I saw that, and I was like, all right, well, that's just failure. Like, that's not like, well, maybe I can do it, maybe there's a chance. I'm like, that's just absurd. Like, it's just not a weight that's achievable for a set of 3, especially because, like, I did the 180 and I got pretty hyped up for it, and I was really happy because I was a PR double at that time. And the day 2, as I looked, I'm like, well, that's like, I'm just gonna fail all those reps. And I looked, I'm like, oh, this day 2 is a max out front squat, which makes sense logically that the program would think that my squatting has been going well, so it would give me a maximum attempt to set a new PR, but not to set an arbitrary max of 207. So I think that's definitely something that their algorithm, or however the program decides that kind of stuff, needs to figure out very, I don't want to say very quickly, but needs to figure out very accurately that if the program is guessing that your max is going up, it should have you test for that max. Because for someone like me, I can be very good at repetitions, or like have a really good double, but it not correlate directly to like a 1 rep max. Or for instance, my best set of 10 in back squats is 405 pounds or 184 kilos or whatever, or 182 kilos, whatever that is. Whatever that is in kilos. Let me do the math really quick. I always forget what 405 is. 184 kilos. So I've done that for a set of 10, which if you put that into a 1 rep max calculator, estimated my max to be like 530. Now, when I had completed that set of 10, my max was like 480 or 470 or something. Like, it was very, like, at least 50 pounds away from whatever the rep max calculator estimated. And obviously, with a set of 10, it becomes a bit absurd with the correlation. It doesn't correlate quite as well, but my repetitions will often not correlate. And I've mentioned in other videos that I'm not very good at front squat repetitions, but that means that if I do well, then my 1 rep max might increase, but it's not going to correlate as well. Like, if I do a 180 double, that probably means my 1 rep max can be higher, but it doesn't necessarily mean that. But it's usually a pretty good indicator. But my reps on front squats, I don't know, on any sets or any exercise, have a correlation just like with anyone else, but it's not a 1-to-1, or I don't know where it pulled 207 out of. Like, that's, even if like I had done a set of 3 or 4 with 180, like 207 would be a pretty aggressive 1 rep max to estimate. So that's something you have to keep mind of myself, to make sure that if it is on there, some sort of absurd number, that I check the maxes to make sure that hasn't changed. It should definitely notify you if it thinks that your 1 rep max has changed, or if it increases it, because I was very frustrated looking at the first day of the program of week 4, just seeing an exercise or seeing an exercise I was just going to fail everything at. Because I had been getting good programming, and then I saw that, I'm like, okay, that's the problem I have with JTS. Like, they would give me absurd reps and sets to do of weights that would be PRs if I did singles at those weights. And I definitely think that's something that they'll hopefully be able to fix, or at least have some sort of indicator of, wow, he's been putting that all his front squats have been going well and easy, and he's hitting these reps above what the program wants. We should see what his 1 rep max is and kind of go about it that way, instead of just arbitrarily increasing it, because that's it's never a recipe for success from my experience, and certainly wouldn't have been one if I had tried to do 187 for a set of 3. I would have done maybe 1 and then failed it for sure. There would have been no chance of doing 2. And if I had done 2, that would have been a massive 70 kilo PR at that point. But doing a set of 3, that's just like me going into the gym and planning on doing clean with 190 kilos. It's just too far above what I'm able to do. But a little bit over my time, so hopefully there's not too much of a black screen at the end. Let me know what you think about this style of video with more workouts combined. And also, if you do happen to listen this far, let me know how the audio is. I'm trying to edit it so it sounds a bit more better for y'all. But that's it for now. Talk to you on the next one. Peace.